Hello and welcome to the first episode of Leftover Makeover in 2021. I hope you all had a great New Year's Eve and I'm glad you're back with us here. So now, today we're going to show you how to use up 3 different things. Four. First is leftover beer from the day before or whenever, stale chips and mashed potatoes, and what's the 4th thing? And cheese, and leftover cheese you might have spared from any kind of cooking you made before. So, let's find out what we're going to do with it.
Now guess what I got for Christmas? That's right, a new microphone. Alright, for our potatoes we're going to create little blossoms, I guess you could call them, to put in the oven with our mashed potatoes. First we're adding some flour and season generously with salt and nutmeg to taste. I decided also to add a shake of cayenne pepper for a little bit of heat and then mixing it up until it's all homogeneous. And at this point I decided it was still a little bit too damp and would not hold its shape very well in the oven. As I found out later, it was still not enough flour and they ended up falling together a little bit, but you're here to learn from my mistakes, right? So I'm adding a little bit more flour. You should probably aim for a little bit stiffer and firmer consistency. Next up, we are grinding up and pounding up our stale old chips, putting them in a plastic bag and just giving them the business with this rolling pin. Just until they have the consistency of coarse sand. On to our cheese sauce. We are creating a simple roux here by combining equal parts of flour and butter in a pan and mixing them up until basically homogeneous and letting it cook for about 1 to 2 minutes until the odor of cooked flour dissipates. And then we're going in straight away with like half or 300 milliliters of the beer, the stale beer, the old beer of your choice, and mix and whisking until it's getting nice and thick and creamy. As you see here, at first it's still quite liquid, just keep on stirring. And yeah, most important thing is to avoid lumps, you add in your liquid cold. Yeah, just mix up and then adjust the consistency to your taste with milk or water even until the sauce has the consistency you like. I'm constantly adding a bit more liquid here because I used way too much fat and too much flour, so you can use half the amounts I'm using here. Okay, in we go with our next ingredient. This is a good tablespoon of hot mustard and sweet brown mustard and a shake of onion and garlic powder. Mix and combine and seasoning with a little bit of vegetable broth. Also to taste you could use fresh homemade stuff. And yeah, season with salt and pepper just for your likings. Now before we introduce the star of our show, the cheese, one word of caution. Whenever you're adding cheese to any hot substance, make sure to turn down the heat, otherwise the fats and solids from the cheese will separate and you will end up with an oily sauce. So turn down the heat and there you go, sauce is done. For representative purposes, we piped our mashed potatoes onto the baking tray and then put them into the oven at 180 degrees until they were golden brown. Next I fried up some breadcrumbs and some oil in a pan until they were golden brown as well. At which point we could add the crumbled chips and fry them up as well and give them a little bit of their crunch back. And here is the final product. You see on the right hand side our mashed potato blossoms. Then we just simply cooked up a little bit of cauliflower. On top goes our cheese sauce and our breadcrumbs for the little bit of crunch in the dish. And garnish with some chives, or in this case we use spring onions.
Okay guys, and that's it for today. I hope you liked this episode. and stay tuned for further content. And of course, as always, like, share and subscribe. And most importantly, guys, please engage more in the comment section below. Really, I want to know what's left over in your kitchen, what do you have trouble with, like using up, or what's usually getting thrown away in your household. I really would like to know, to have some ideas for future videos and to have some kind of discussion with you. So, until then, bye bye!